issue is that like the actual problem here is that we're leaving men behind. The issue isn't that we're like raising women up. It's that men are disproportionately being like undereducated in school. Primary school is horrible for young boys. We're not giving them social scripts on how to exist. And we're still telling young men that their only value is the amount that they can contribute to the GDP, when in the reality is that like what women are looking for is men that like make them feel valuable, men that they can emotionally connect to. And so like the real issue here isn't that we're raising women up, it's that we're leaving men behind, which I'm actually very interested in.
Well, I want to make this one point though. You know, I think men are a victim of what their surroundings, because you know the amount of men that have microplastics in their testicles now. Seriously, you know now the amount of estrogen.
You're getting some right now.
Exactly. So I'm saying, don't we think men now have higher estrogen levels than ever in recorded history? Yeah. So I feel like that is kind of why the men are, I guess, you know, coming in second place if we talk about
there's it's a problem for everyone. I'm only 36 and I've already had cancer.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. It's a serious thing. Yeah. I know. It's serious.
Some environmental shit going on.
And who's in good shape, Kat? Like, you've never been fat or gross?
No, not to brag, but I've never been fat. Yeah.
I mean, that does have, you know, like they say the fatter you are, the more likely you are to get cancer. So I'm just saying there's a lot of toxins in our water, in our food, that are making men, you know, less masculine and less aggressive.
I want to, maybe I'm just jumping the gun, but I was just thinking about, if we want to go into dating stuff, I think maybe we'll come back to it. But in the question of feminism, the one thing that I really, really pisses me off, women won the right to vote without civic responsibility. And so
they shouldn't have the right to vote.
You can make the argument.
Repeal the 19.
I think it's fine to say women should have the right to vote. However, we got to look at the context of the United States, and that's women do not have an obligation to die in war that men do, but women can vote overwhelmingly for Democrats promoting these wars, and then men are left on the hook for a war they tend not to vote for. That's fucked up.
So, sure. The issue
I'm glad we're on this topic. Repeal the 19th. Yeah. I was going to say that earlier when she was yapping, but that's fine. Yeah, repeal the 19th.
I think only landowners should vote. Let's go back. Let's go back to pre-Civil War. Try to vote now, Myron.
Women shouldn't be able to vote.
I think we have two issues here, right? Number one, the vote has never actually been tied to military service. It's typically citizenship and age, are usually kind of the two main things that we've always used for voting. I would be totally fine with us having an amendment where we add women to selective service. I have no issue with that whatsoever, right? And I think equal strokes. The issue is that when it comes to voting, there are going to be topics that uniquely affect men and uniquely affect women. In this case, war does uniquely affect men right now, which might be unfair. But in the case of something like abortion and birthright control and all these sort of things, these disproportionately affect women, right? And so when we're talking about like who gets the right to vote, is it because of like certain topics uniquely affect one gender than another? That's not how we've ever tied the right to vote. It could be landowners, it could be multiple things. In America, though, we seem to mostly decide age and citizenship.
But the problem I have is that Democrats have been substantially more likely to vote for war, to promote war, particularly in Ukraine. Republicans have been pressuring Trump not to be involved. His base split over the Iran issue. Millennial women are about 70% voting Democrat. So you have this phenomenon in the millennial to Gen Z younger generation where women are disproportionately voting for a war they have no responsibility in, or I should say a limited responsibility in. And it's crazy to me that half the population can vote and the other half to die, and that's equality.
So I'm a millennial woman, and I am married to a veteran, and both of us are very anti-war. He is anti-war as somebody who went over there. I think that to pin the power of the military-industrial complex, which is a very powerful force, on women being able to vote is wild. But I also understand
that's a mischaracterization of what I said.
I think I was talking more about what Myron said than what you said. I understand also that this is like Myron's whole thing. But so you have to say like women can't vote, and then you get attention, and you also kind of act like you invented misogyny, which you didn't. Like it's been around for a very long time. These are not hot takes. These are like very old, archaic
But
takes.
he is in the top 10, right?
Because he goes really hard and he gets a lot of attention for it. And then there are these men, sadly, who listen to you who I think are lonely. And I love men. I'm not like a man-hating woman. I love men. And I think that a lot of men have been left behind in a lot of ways. And I understand that. But I don't think that blaming all of your problems, if you do blame all your problems on women, then that could be the reason why you don't have one.
Oh,
Well, I
there's
wanna
another group of people that Myron blames his problems on, and it's not women.
Well, I want to
true.
let Myron respond, but I guess I want to pose this question: what is the bigger threat, feminism or misogyny? What's worse for society?
So when I say feminism, I feel like things like I have the right to vote, I have a job, I'm a participating member of society, which is different than hating men. So it kind of depends how you
Well, do you
define
hate
it.
women, Myron? I'm not just more curious.
Sometimes. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. Look, the reality is that when it comes to feminism, etc., women are stupid. Let's be honest about this. And the reason why, right? It's not just, and she said it herself, misogyny isn't something new. She's right. In ancient China, to the Middle East, to Eastern Europe, everybody knew that women are so we need to make them second-class citizens. So that's why they didn't have the right to vote and do a lot of stuff. And then now
What
we
an
got?
eloquent argument. I never could have come up with
She didn't
something
even let
that
me finish. She's
intelligent
acting like a
as
woman
a
right now.
stupid
Holy
woman.
crap. I let her speak and now she won't let me speak. So it's interesting to me how she said, oh yeah, this isn't something new. Yeah, you're right. Everyone since ancient times knew that women are we need to make them second-class citizens. And here's the craziest part. They lived in other ends of the world and they still realize the Asian dudes, ling bing ding, all the way to the fucking Mohammeds in the Middle East, to the Eastern Europeans of Slav, they all knew, damn, women are stupid. We need to go ahead and put them in the kitchen. Now they're out the kitchen, and what's going on? Society is crumbling.
Which civilization of all the ones that you listed do you like the most? Do you like modern America, or do you like Saudi Arabia, or do you like, ancient Japan? Which one do you like the most?
Well, look, I like any society that has women under control, and right now we don't, which is why shit is fucked up.
So why don't you move to Saudi Arabia? They don't have the right to vote. They can barely drive. Like what?
It's a great place.
Do you want Sharia law? No,
That's
Myron.
true. They can drive now. They
I'm
can
saying,
drive.
They can drive, and that's bad.
Wait, are you? But be
So
honest.
you think that Saudi Arabia is a better country than America?
When it comes to handling women, yes. Yes, when it comes to
Well,
handling
just overall,
women, yes.
don't change the question.
And
Don't run away
crime
from
is
it.
less in Saudi
Do you
Arabia,
think
though.
Well, they have less crime.
you were talking about these global things about how when women are oppressed, that's been the societal trend. And so I asked you, modern America decided, along with a whole bunch of Western democracies, and I think you like Western civilization,
I do,
that
I
that's
do.
a bad idea. And so the question is, why is America so great if Saudi Arabia's got this one thing so well to like what? Shouldn't that be the great
Well,
country?
you could be better in different ways, right? Like
So Muslim
what
theocracies got it.
No, I didn't say. No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
What I'm saying is, here's the problem, right? When you have women having too much power, it creates a lot of issues because women are communitarian by nature, right? They don't know what the fuck they want to do. They can't even decide what they want to eat, let alone pick their own partners. That's why the divorce rates are through the fucking
Wait,
roof.
time out.
That's
You
why
guys
marriage
admit
is
it's
down in
hard
the
for women to
dumpster.
choose what to eat, though, Kat. Is that true? Can we at least
know?
agree on
Well,
that?
yes, but it also could be all this nicotine gum I'm always chewing.
Okay,
Like, never that hungry.
that is typically my girlfriend. It is hard for women to choose what to eat. I think you're 100% right about that.
Sure, but we also are like negating the fact that like some of the biggest breakthroughs in ecology science come from the humanitarian approach that women have. DNA was discovered by women. So like the issue is that women are decently valuable. When we talk about women being stupid, men are stupid all the time too. Men are the like morons that are ending up in fucking jail all the time because they can't like stop
Wait,
punching
not
shit.
you made a good point. I think. Wait.
Is Frederick Miescher a woman? DNA was first identified by Swiss chemist Friedrich Miescher.
Yeah, they were trying to take
Who
credit
stole
for
it
our stuff.
from?
They also
Look at
say
that.
they were trying to say
Wow.
Wi-Fi was made by women. No, it wasn't. It was made by men as well. Women don't invent anything. They don't contribute to anything besides. Like, to be honest, the only real value women have is reproductive
I
value.
contribute more to
We're
the
gonna be honest.
economy than you do, Myron, just objectively.
Wait. I want to say I'm on Kat and not to her side though. That don't you think women are equally valuable to society though? You don't think so?
Dude, if you remove sex and reproduction, they provide almost nothing.
Yeah, but those are
gonna be
we wouldn't
honest.
have life without those things.
Yeah,
so
sure.
so don't
Well,
those
sure. But I want to
kinda
be clear
even the
about this.
playing field?
We don't need them. Like, here's the thing: women need us. We don't need them. We need them to propagate
They have our
society for the
babies,
next
dude.
generation. That's what my point. I said outside of reproduction. So, like, if we want to have kids, yes, we need them, but they need us for everything. So the reality is, men bring far more value to society than women do. The only real value they provide is reproductive value. Because let's be honest here. You guys don't give a fuck about what they got to say. You guys are here for us. Nobody cares about what women got to say. They're the suckiest podcasters. Female YouTubers suck. Nobody gives a fuck about their opinion. We're just there for the tits.
Isn't
Let's
like
be
the
honest.
when some of the largest podcasts, all Candace Owens, Call Her Daddy, like some of the largest podcasts are
And
female
to be
run.
to be fair,
Candace
wait,
Owens is
hold
an
on.
exception.
It
Hold on.
doesn't matter if you don't like them. The point is that they're highly successful. So maybe you guys don't like to listen to women, but that doesn't mean that broader society doesn't. For example, take women out of the workforce. You've nuked your economy overnight. It's done. They contribute, even if we're being mild and conservative, 30%.
Well, that'd be
probably
good.
around 50%.
That'd be good for the airline pilot industry, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that save us a lot?
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot more going on with the airline pilot
Yeah, but-
industry than
but-
just women.
But women are usually taking social jobs like teachers and nurses and stuff like
Yeah,
this.
we need those jobs.
We do, but we need petroleum engineers more.
I would disagree.
don't know
We need
about
to
that.
raise our
I
children.
mean,
I,
we need
I would like
to
literate
Abolish
children.
Public schools.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Public schools are shit.
But we should still be teaching our kids. We want our kids to be literate.
I agree. And I think
We need nurses,
women are great teachers. when it
right? Like
comes to,
every
basic
one of
knowledge
you
stuff.
has been to a hospital, and you're probably super grateful that there's an entire help industry oriented at making sure that your ass doesn't die. Especially a lot of your fat asses don't die.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can feel the